Welcome to the new face of Living Legend. Kayo, armed and dangerous, with his nice and trusty Savage Sash, and of course, Berserk, right? So before we actually get into the deck, why don't we see exactly what you can do if you high roll with this deck. Okay, so here we are against trusty old Stravo with the best opening hand possible. Let's see if I can not screw this up. Definitely play the Savage Sash straight away, and then Berserk. We'll pitch a blue to run Roughshod, right? I mean, Barrage and Bighorn's going anyway because of the discard. We're definitely taking the action points. We'll get our 3 cards back, right? Because of Berserk and then 2 from Blood Rush. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Now, the reason I've picked Kayo over Reiner is just the absurd amount of go-agains that you can run. Unfortunately, right, pulping is a bad one to start off with because they have their whole hand, right? So that's the downside of not playing Reiner, where you don't have Intimidate, but the chain you can potentially get to is just significantly greater, right? So we're definitely playing Breakneck Battery, or I could, Skullhorn, right, and try to cycle the beast within, but we've got a decent chance, or at least finding something else we like, but look at that, we high rolled. So our starting attack is a go again, which is great, along with a draw 2 because of Beast Within and its own discard and Berserk effect. So look at that, our hand stays nice and juicy with 3, and we're doing 8 damage. I'm sure the bot's going to block. It's Blizzard. Now, I can pay for Blizzard and float the resource, which isn't horrible, but we do have the action point, so you know what? I don't really care. We'll let go. We won't pay. So we take Blizzard. Oh well, can't have go again, but we have the action point. We're sinking their hand, so we like that. Pass, pass. We don't want to play the wind up, right? And now we're free to play Pulping, basically. We also have a Madcap Charger, which is okay, but again, we want the draw and discard. It's definitely a lot better, even though it's a yellow. So we do that. We get rid of the Agile Wind-Up, right? We get some cards back. It's now 7, Dominate, go again. They don't have another Blizzard effect, at least I hope they don't. So we should be fine here to just now try and, basically roll over them. We've got our 2 flowing resources, so we can play 2 more cards, basically, right, at this current point in time. If we get some more draw and discards, we're super happy, but unfortunately, neither of these are. But the great thing about Madcap Charger is it is basically a free go again, thanks to Savage Sash, and again, because we're KO, we can run it, which is the wonderful thing, right? So again, just an extra ton of damage. Well, 7 in this case instead of 5, right? Guess I'm Skullhorning. We have 2 back now, right? Another Pulping. Discard and draw gets us another one. I guess we hit something bad, I'm going to say. One of the Berserks or one of the Blood Rush. Still, right? Salvage. That's why we take Skullhorn. And yeah, we can do another Pulping. And we're super happy, right? And we're probably just ending off with the claws. And damage-wise, again, Bravo's basically dead. And their turn's not that great. Granted, this is turn 1, right? So we popped off turn 1, which you probably don't want to do. But yeah, God, actually, well, no, Wild Ride. Wild Ride is draw first? It is draw first, perfect. So we can play that. All right, so we continue. So an 8. I mean, again, Stravo's dead. It's a turn 1 OTK in Living Legend. Nonetheless, right? The Blizzard didn't get us. Yeah, God. The shenanigans, if you just start with the right hand, which doesn't happen too often, but can happen. So we can't play Breakneck Battery because of the discard, but we can swing for the KO. Unfortunately, they are a bot, so they did not block, right? They could have prevented 3, and what's in hand? Okay, yeah. So regardless, that was a KO. And that is the potential of KO, right? So why don't we go over the deck? Right, so again, I am picking KO over Reiner for the simple fact that there are so many great 5s that just make this deck so unstoppable just to run over. Again, this was with Berserk and Blood Rush, but you don't have to. We have so many ways to have go again, and also on, cheapish cards, right? Madcap Charger is a wonderful card now that we have KO. In Reiner, obviously, it's not that great because, well, it's 5, right? I mean, you could still take it as a value, but, if this is the card you're discarding, you feel bad, right? But yeah, so we have Bare Fangs just because it's a draw and discard, again, with the action point of being trackers, right? So it's like our 1 freebie. Barraging Bighorn, go again. Breakneck Battery, go again. Madcap Charger, go again. Pulping, Wild Ride, right? So many wonderful go agains, right? In fact, we'll go the opposite way. What isn't a go again, right? Basically all the blues except Barraging Bighorn, but they're mainly there to pitch, right? In terms of yellow, we have a Savage Feast, which is just a draw card. So again, aside from that, look at that. Everything else strings together so nicely. And there's some alternatives we could run as well instead. So I have basically just adopted LSS's idea of a very minimalistic hitting, miss, discarding deck, right? No hits, pretty sure no miss deck, right, is the term that everyone's been floating about. So yeah, and it's all thanks to, again, Kayo and his wonderful ability to use 5s, which of course Savage Sash does work with, because in your hand they are still 6 or more, so they do cost 1 less to play. We take Skull Horn as, again, our get out of jail free. Depending on what we discard with it, it could be really impactful. Say we have a Beast Within left in hand. Well, there we go. We get our 2 cards back if we have Berserk floating, right? So all the equipment, you basically save until you have that big pinnacle turn. Other than that, you can just block, right? And again, we have a decent amount of 3 block attacks, right? So that's not a great shortcoming of the deck. Granted, there are obviously still no block, but altogether, I think it is definitely a contender for Living Legend, right? Berserk is so powerful in conjunction with Savage Sash. And with Reiner, the big issue is, if you can't KO them, right, Intimidate is sort of worthless, because you're trading back and forth. And here's the thing. Brute does damage, but that's it, right? They don't have any fancy on-hit effects, nothing to last, no creation of frailty or inertia or blood rot that the opponent has to play around, right? No frostbite, nothing like that. So as a contender for Living Legend, that's where a lot of classes will end up falling short, because they might have the damage, but they don't have the ongoing effect to actually impact your opponent's turn. Reiner, again, you can get a ton of damage across with Intimidate. I mean, with Berserk, you can definitely sink their whole hand, and again, you know, maybe do 20 to 30. You could definitely do the whole 40. Don't get me wrong. It's just more consistent to me in KO, because we'd have to cut out so many of these 5s, right? Even the blues that we run for pitching, they'd have to go, because they become, you know, dead draws that disrupt a lot of these effects. Because again, the go-agains are, well, in case of pulping, defended, but for a lot of them are tied to the discard effect instead. So Breakneck Battery on the discard, Wild Ride on the discard, Breakneck Battery again, Wild Ride again, right? So yeah, I think KO is a bit more consistent in that regard for it. Now you do have stuff like Sand Sketch Plan, which could help you find Berserk, but again, it's still finding Sand Sketch Plan to then play or find Berserk and then not suffer the misroll. So I think just being able to keep up the tempo and aggression with KO, again with this type of deck, where everything leads into it, right? So again, we'll play another match where I don't actually fish for the perfect opening hand, and we'll see how well it performs. But yeah, and then you have the basic kill turn, where if you have Savage Sash and you have Berserk, I don't even know if you technically need the Blood Rush Bellow for the extra cards, right? You could probably, if they're low enough, definitely do enough damage, because again, everything just feeds into one another, right? This is a free draw with Berserk, right? Well, I should say neutral with Berserk. That has Go Again. A 0 for 5 with Go Again. That is absurd with Savage Sash, right? So that's why we run Madcap Charger. That's why we run, well, is there any other 1 costs? I was looking into a lot of other Go Agains. In fact, we have a maybe pile like Zealous Beating. So Zealous Beating is always triggered because in the discard pile, they're always going to be 6s. Sorry, in the pitch pile, they're always going to be 6s, right? And then we have stuff like Rising Speed, where all these could just be good old 1 drops. But I think overall this, so far, is what flows nicely to me, right? I mean, we can just, you know, cycle 4 hands. So starting off, right, we can still do the Madcap Charger for 1, play the Wrecker Romp. If we hit the Beast Within, right? If we don't, play Barraging Bighorn. If we do get another card, play Barraging Bighorn, right? And that's still a fine turn. That's still a lot of damage going out. And again, just whittle down our opponent. Finally, we lock into Berserk and all hell breaks loose. But anyway, let's try some more games against the bot. Okay, so here we go. Against a Stravo bot, right? How can we fare? Now, fair warning, I'm not a Brute player, right? The last few days have been the most I've played Brute since the very beginning when I got into the game. But I think this is a good enough opening hand to actually play aggressive, even though it's turn 1, right? I feel like we could get some damage across to make it worthwhile. Or I could even just stash the Blood Rush Bellow and then just go for a Savage Sash turn next. I mean, they have ways to shut us down because they are Frost, but we have the equipment for the Winter's Wail. You know what? No, I won't be greedy. We'll stash the Blood Rush Bellow, and we'll just, yeah, try to knock their socks off in the next turn. So we're not going to defend, right? Winter's Wail is the only thing we're really scared of. Another Blink. It's just an action point, right? Yeah, Winter's Wail. So it has Frost. We can just double block it. So we're good. It's 1 Might token, so I don't think that's worthwhile. I don't like that, right? The pass fading away. But there we go. We're on 36. They do have an Arsenal card. But let's see what we can do. Is it worth sashing without the Berserk? That's the question. I think it kind of is, right? I feel like there's crazy stuff to be done regardless. Yeah. No. Wait for the Berserk, right? That's like our finishing. So, yeah. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Be greedy. It's time to be greedy. So definitely play Berserk, right? Blood Rush. Do we want the points now? You know what? I probably have Insanity coming, so yeah, we'll take the points. We get ourselves what exactly? Beast Within. There's so much going on that I lose track of it, but I mean our hand looks good. Yeah, 5 cards looks good. Pass. All right, so we have 2 Blood Rush Bellows. We have Berserk going. We have 5 cards in hand. We have Savage Sash. I think this is a KO. Is it not? I mean, Pulping gets denied. That's the only issue with this current hand. We can take the action point, Bare Fangs, and just hope they block it. Plus, then we get to pitch. I mean, Swing is probably the correct opening here. God, I'm gonna mess this up. But we'll see. To 7, they take the 7. Smart on them, right? They know what they're doing. Still have the action point floating. I don't know where they're shown, which is the worry here on Fabtcg, but we do have the, oh, never mind, front and center. Right, so we have 2 action points, so I guess it's the Bare Fang, just for a ton of damage, right? Because it's a draw and discard as well, which makes it really good. It's 1 cost, so we're happy. If it hits the Pulping, it's fine. We want to hit one of the blues, so then we can just pitch the other one. Yeah, Bare Fangs for 10. Into another Bare Fangs. Well, that's sadly going. Well, this is actually really bad, because now we don't have to go again. But it's fine. We have the Skull Horn to get us out of a pickle, hopefully. But now their hand size is correct for the Pulping. So we'll Skull Horn. Come on, give me something I can play. It discarded what we drew, didn't it? Which was Breakneck Battery. Right? Right. So I guess it's a Barraging Bighorn, even though it's a yellow. Yeah, oh well. Pitch the Wrecker Romp. Still go again, so take it. We get what? Berserk's on top. I take it. So we're not quite getting through, is what this is telling me. We can't play Bare Fangs. We can play Bare Fangs. Yeah. So we lost the Berserk, but they're on 14. I think that's a good enough turn. And I think we're fine to now just keep up the pressure. We do have to worry about the Winter's Wail, unfortunately. And that could have gone a little bit better. Got a little unlucky. Right? Makes me tempted to just run 1 copy of Berserk, and basically, again, Berserk is just there for the Savage Sash turn. But it's such a good card, regardless, right? Whether or not it's for Savage Sash. So, no. Run 3 copies of Berserk. Alright. We're way ahead, so we should be nice and happy here. I want to play the Pulping. I mean, it either gets denied and we're happy, or it doesn't. Or I can play the Barraging Bighorn. Barraging Bighorn off the yellow gets discarded, so we can't play anything anyway. So nah, it's the Pulping or bust. So Pulping, pitch to that, right? We'll see if they deny it. They gotta. No, it has Dominate. Forget it has Dominate. Pulping is good. Pulping is free damage. 5, so they're on 8. Yeah, we're just gonna whittle them down, basically. There's no way they can catch up. They'd have to seriously stall us with Frostbite, and that's just not gonna happen. So again, this deck just has so much going for it. I was trying to make a go again pun, right? But we can do that, and we can block with Breakneck Battery, I guess. Gets us the Might as well, right? Yeah. And probably not this turn, next turn, I'm going to say is game. Again, Pulping. Yeah, I need to remember that the Pulping is just always hitting. But we can't really play it. I'd have to pitch the other 2 things. I'd rather play Wild Ride, I think. Yeah, Wild Ride. Keep the yellow perfect so we can swing. They are blocking with equipment now. That's the first time I've seen it. But that's fine. And then we play Mandible Claws. We just, again, start getting the damage through. And yeah, look at that. Glorious 31, and I'm pretty sure I have misplayed this deck. Okay. Come on. Another Berserk, so I think next turn is the finisher. They're just going aggression. No Frost. So we're fine. Yeah. So we play Berserk. We pitch Wrecker Romp or Savage Swing? Savage Swing is the cheaper one, so Wrecker Romp. I mean, it's gone anyway, most likely because of the Wild Ride. Wild Ride gets us a Beast Within. Ah, damn it. Obviously, we want to hit the Beast Within. That's fine. We get, oh, Mudcap Charger, so we're sort of saved. Prevents Blizzard. What are we doing? We're doing Wild Ride into a swing, most likely. So yes. No. We don't have the resources. So I guess it's not worthwhile, right? I'd rather just hold the Beast Within, stick the Madcap Charger into our arsenal. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, fine. One more turn. Blood Rush Bellow. Yeah, okay. Next turn settles it. Just so much damage output. The Blood Rush Bellow to start, pitch the Wild Ride, hit a Beast Within. Gets us Savage Feast. Perfect, along with another Wild Ride and a Agile Windup, which we don't need to use. Again, Mudcap Charger has to go again, is a 1 cost. So 8, perfect. We can play the Wild Ride, pitch the Agile Windup, and then get the Beast Within again. So we're definitely happy with that. And then we can swing, and that should be game. Well, it's game over anyway. So there we go. Just unleashed aggression with Kayo. Anyway, we'll take a look at the deck, and again, well, no, didn't we already do this part? I'm forgetting. Yeah. I already explained, right, why this is better than Intimidate. Because Intimidate, they get their hand back, and you're going back and forth. This actually exhausts their hand and does a crap ton of damage, right? Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.